Hello everybody and welcome to Notorious Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Notorious Cly. Some of you have been asking me for a combo tutorial on the deck I just profiled, and here it is. Today I'm going to show you a couple of the bread and butter combos that I'm looking to do with the deck that I profiled, and then maybe do a test hand to show you how I would play a random 5-card hand. The first combo that we're going to pop off with is our Soul Resonator 1.5 card combo. So the only cards we will need are Soul Resonator and our half card, meaning any other card in our deck, literally any other card, which will be represented by Nibiru. So first up, we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Soul Resonator. Use the Soul Resonator effect, and we will search Bone Archfiend. Now that we have Bone Archfiend in hand, we will activate its effect by sending the Nibiru to the graveyard, and then we will special summon it. While Bone Archfiend is on the field, we will use its effect, target Soul Resonator, send Crimson Resonator from deck to graveyard, and decrease the level of Soul Resonator by 1, making it a level 2 tuner. Now that we have level 2 tuner, level 4 non-tuner, we're going to use those two for the synchro summon of a Red Rising Dragon. We will use Red Rising Dragon's effect when it's synchro summoned. You can go ahead and target a Resonator in your graveyard and bring it back. We are going to go ahead and target the Crimson Resonator and special summon it back to our side of the field. Now that the only other monster on our side of the field is a Dark Dragon Synchro monster, we will use Crimson Resonator's effect to special summon up to 2 Resonators not named Crimson from deck or hand. Hopefully these are in the deck, which means you're getting a lot of value out of Crimson. And we're going to choose Synchron Resonator and Vision Resonator. Now that that's done, we're going to use the Vision and the Red Rising Dragon for the synchro summon of Red Dragon Archfiend. Vision Resonator, since it was sent to the graveyard, can go ahead and add a spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from our deck to our hand. We are going to add the Crimson Gaia. We're going to keep that in our hand for now. We don't want to put it face up on our field. We don't want to use the search yet. Not until we know what our opponent's going to do, if they can interact with us. We want to wait till the end of the combo in case we need to grab a particular spell or trap or an extender. Next, we're going to use Synchron Resonator and Red Dragon Archfiend for the synchro summon of our Dragon Archfiend Abyss. We will have 2 effects go off in graveyard here, Synchron and Red. Chain links don't really matter at this point. If your opponent hasn't hand trapped you yet, they're probably not going to. As habit, I always do Synchron, Chainlink 1 and Red, Chainlink 2. I find that less things interact with the Red than the Synchron, but again, it doesn't really matter. So Synchron is going to target a Resonator in a graveyard not named Synchron and add it back to our hand. We're going to target the Vision, and then Red, since it was sent to the graveyard from the field, we can go ahead and special summon, treat it as a synchro summon, a Red Dragon Archfiend from our extra deck. So resolving chains backwards, we're going to special summon that Red Dragon Archfiend. And then Synchron will add the Vision back to our hand. Now we can do a couple different things, and I'm going to show you what I prefer to do, and then show you an alternative route. Normally what I like to do here is go ahead and use the Crimson Resonator, use the Red Dragon Archfiend for the synchro summon of a Bestial Despotter, and then activate Crimson Gaia, activate the effect of Crimson Gaia, add a Fiendish Golem from deck to hand, set the Fiendish Golem, then pass turn to our opponent. I prefer this one because Despotter is the threat, it's an interruption, and it's also got a gigantic booty, so if your opponent can't out it with a card effect, they are going to have a hard time swinging over it. Additionally, the Fiendish Golem we searched is going to be able to banish a monster with 2,000 or more attack. This guarantees that Despotter's effect to negate one of our opponent's monster effects will be live at some point, provided our opponent can put a monster with 2,000 or more attack on the board. We also have Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which can help protect the Despotter, so it's not the worst thing in the world that the Despotter isn't online right away. And then we have some floating and recursion via Crimson Gaia. When card is destroyed, we can go ahead and bring back either the Red or the OG Red Dragon Archfiend from the graveyard. Alright, so to rewind this to our deviation point, here's the other path you can take. You can go ahead and use Vision Resonator's ability to special summon itself, since there's a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field. And then we can use Crimson Resonator, Vision Resonator, and Red Dragon Archfiend for the synchro summon of one of my favorite OG cards, Red Nova Dragon. Then we can use the effect of Crimson Gaia, activate Gaia, activate the effect of Crimson Gaia. Yes, I should be doing this correct in a combo tutorial video. And then we're going to add the red zone from deck to hand. We will then set the red zone, and that's the alternative route for the combo. What we have here is Red Nova Dragon, which can help protect our Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss from being run over by battle. When your opponent declares an attack, you can banish Red Nova Dragon, target their monster, and then negate the attack. It's going to help make sure that our negate any one face-up card stays online. Additionally, we also have Red Zone. Red Zone is live because Red Nova Dragon specifically mentions Red Dragon Archfiend as one of its synchro materials, which means whenever our opponent activates a card or effect, we can go ahead and destroy one card on their field. And then we also have the normal Crimson Gaia recursion floating effect, but as an added bonus, we also have Soul Resonator in graveyard. Since we control Red Dragon Archfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, when a card or cards we control would be destroyed by a card effect, we can banish Soul Resonator instead. This gives our board a little bit more resiliency. I tend to find myself favoring the Dispotter a little bit more. I don't know why, I just think it feels more threatening. And then on the crackback, I find that having Dispotter allows you to push through whatever your opponent did manage to establish. Since Dispotter can go ahead and summon back something that was banished either on your opponent's turn or something that you banished on your turn 3 when you're trying to push for game. The Red Nova board, not bad. It's still not bad. You still have basically the same number of interactions, given how sequential the Fiendish Golem and the Dispotter are. And I guess you also are very hard to OTK during the setup, because Red Nova Dragon can, banish itself, negate an attack. Red Zone can bring back the Red Nova Dragon, and then you have a big body on board that they still have to try and get through. But yeah, I find myself preferring the first route first. Fortunately, we don't have to worry too much about deciding which one card combo route we want to take, because this deck is pretty consistent at opening its signature 2-card combo. And let's go ahead and set that up now. Okay, now that we're all set up, let's go ahead and showcase the 2-card combo. For the 2-card combo, we are going to need Soul Resonator and either Bone Archfiend or Crimson Resonator. Doesn't matter which one of these two you open with the Soul Resonator, because Soul Resonator will be able to search the other. I mentioned before we set this up that this combo is pretty consistent. I don't know the math offhand. I'm sure in editing I'll throw it up on the screen now. But it's very consistent because we have a ton of access to Soul Resonator and also a ton of access to Crimson Resonator and in a roundabout way Bone Archfiend as well. We have Resonator Call, which can search Soul or Crimson, whichever one we're missing. We have Stone Sweeper, which can search Soul or Crimson, whichever one we're missing. We have Crimson Gaia, which can search Soul. We have Foolish Burial, which can put Crimson in the graveyard, or Bone Archfiend in the graveyard, which is exactly where we need them. There's a ton of ways to get to this combo, which is why I'm not too worried about hemming and hawing over which one card combo route is better. For demonstration purposes, I think I'm going to elect to use Soul Resonator and Crimson Resonator, since we technically have the most access to these two. We have more Resonator searchers than we do Bone Archfiend searchers. Alright, so we have Crimson Resonator and Soul Resonator in hand. The first step that I usually take is to special summon the Crimson Resonator, but to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if you special summon it or keep it in your hand. I've become accustomed to special summoning it just to give my opponent potentially one more point to interact with me incorrectly, in hopes that they don't know what my deck is doing. So we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll activate the effect of Crimson Resonator, special summon itself, then we'll go ahead and normal summon Soul Resonator, activate the effect of Soul Resonator, go ahead and add the missing piece, which is Bone Archfiend. Then we will use the effect of Bone Archfiend, activating it by sending Crimson Resonator from the field to the graveyard to special summon itself. Bone Archfiend effect, targeting Soul Resonator, and then sending Obsessive Oovaloop from deck to graveyard. We're going to decrease the level of Soul by 1, making it level 2. You know what's next. We are going to turn those two into the one, the only, Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon will target Crimson and special summon back the Crimson. Crimson will activate its effect, special summoning the Synchron, and the Vision. Then we will use Vision and Red Rising Dragon for the Synchro Summon of Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Vision Resonator's effect will go off since it was sent to the graveyard, and we will add Crimson Gaia to our hand. Next, we're going to use Scar Red and Synchron for Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Then we're going to have the Synchron and Scar Red effect. We'll go Synchron 1, target Vision, Scar Red 2. Resolving Scar Red, we will summon Red Dragon Archfiend. Resolving Synchron, we will add back the Vision. Now we can go ahead and synchro Red Dragon Archfiend and Crimson Resonator for this Steal This Potter. Now our next step is to use all of the Obsessive Oovaloop fuel we've put in our graveyard. So Obsessive Oovaloop should be down here. We are going to activate its effect by targeting the Red Rising Dragon or the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. It honestly doesn't really matter. The only difference is between which one you're going to have banished on your opponent's turn to potentially summon back with Red Zone, or the one you're going to have in your graveyard to potentially get back via Crimson Gaia. So we're going to go ahead and banish that Red Rising Dragon first, add the Obsessive Oovaloop back to our hand. Then we're going to use Obsessive Oovaloop again, targeting the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend to banish it, and special summon the Obsessive Oovaloop. Then we can use the effect of Steal This Potter, targeting either one of these two. I will choose the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend and special summon it back. Then we will special summon Vision Resonator and go ahead and use Vision Resonator and Scar Red Dragon Archfiend for the synchro summon of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. We will use the effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, tributing the Obsessive Oovaloop and targeting the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend to special summon back the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Now that we have all of our synchro monsters on board, we're going to activate Crimson Gaia, activate the effect of Crimson Gaia, and here I will almost always pick Red Zone because we have cards that are banished already, so this Potter's effect is already live, and we have Red Dragon Archfiend, or a synchro monster that mentions it, on field, which means Red Zone's effect is live. We can go ahead and set the Red Zone, and then that's our turn. It's amazing how much further just one extra card can get you with this deck. To recap, we have the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss to negate any one face-up card our opponent controls. We have the Steal This Potter, which is already live to destroy our opponent's monster when they activate their effect, since we have one of our cards banished. We have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane not doing anything other than looking big and intimidating. We have Scar Red Dragon Archfiend not doing anything other than looking big and intimidating, and potentially floating on our opponent's turn if it's sent to the graveyard. Then we have Red Zone with its destruction effect live, and its special summon of a Dark Dragon Synchro monster effect live. If we need another body to block an attack or just get in the way, we have one. Kind of nice. And then we have the Crimson Gaia doing its thing, giving us recursion of the Red Dragon Archfiend that's in our graveyard, or potentially the Red Dragon Archfiend that might find its way to our graveyard. And last but not least, since we control Red Dragon Archfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, we also have Soul's Protection effect live. Oh, and not to mention 3 other cards in our hand that we did not need to make all of this. Okay, let's go ahead and demo one more combo for all you Supernova lovers. Let's demo the 1-card Red Supernova Dragon combo. And we're all set up. That's right, Nibiru is back representing our half card. I may have misspoken just a little bit. This is not technically a true 1-card combo, it's a 1.5 card combo. We need 1 card, Soul Resonator, and literally any other card in our deck to turbo out Red Supernova Dragon with the ability to use its effect twice per turn. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and normal summon Soul effect, search, Bone Archfiend effect, sending the card in our hand to the graveyard, special summoning itself, Bone Archfiend's effect, targeting Soul, and then sending Crimson, reducing Soul's level by 1. Synchro summon for Red Rising Dragon effect, target Crimson, special back the Crimson effect, special summon the Vision Resonator, and the second Vision Resonator. Now we have 2, 4, 6 levels of tuner on field, and 1 level 6 non-tuner synchro monster, which means we have everything we need for Red Supernova Dragon. And there he is, Red Supernova Dragon. Then we have Vision Resonator's effect, since it was sent to the graveyard, to add a spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend. We will add the Crimson Gaia effect. We will add Red Zone. We will set the Red Zone, and that is our 1.5 card Red Supernova combo. This may not look like much, but Red Supernova Dragon is incredibly powerful. The ability to banish every card your opponent controls is not one to take lightly. And the ability to do it twice via the effect of Red Zone and Red Supernova's soft once per turn ability makes it even more powerful. The main reason why I don't prefer the Red Supernova Dragon combo over the Abyss Despoter Fiendish Golem combo is because I like having more varied points of interaction. Right now, all of our eggs are in the Red Supernova Dragon basket. Don't get me wrong, this is a really good basket. It'll hold all of your eggs and your Easter treats, but it can be dealt with pretty easily with some cards that are commonly played. If your opponent happens to have an infinite impermanence in their hand, that will shut down Red Supernova Dragon. If they're playing stuff like Book of Eclipse or Book of Moon, that will also shut down Red Supernova Dragon. Forbidden Chalice does it, Forbidden Droplets does it. There's a ton of different ways to answer Red Supernova Dragon. And we need Red Supernova Dragon to resolve on our opponent's turn to even stand a chance at winning. If our opponent doesn't have an answer for Red Supernova Dragon though, I'd say we're in pretty good shape, considering we also have 3 cards left in our hand that can potentially interact with our opponent in ways that Supernova may not. Alright, that's it for all the combos. Let's maybe just set up a test hand and I'll play you through it and walk you through it. Now that we're all shuffled up, let's draw our hand. We have Nibiru. We have Red Zone. We have Stone Sweeper. We have Ghost Spell. And last but not least, we have Obsessive Oovaloop. This is not bad at all. I like that I have 2 hand traps in here. 2 ways to interact with our opponent, which means going second might not be too bad for us. We can potentially bait out any chance to blink out the Nibiru with the Ghost Spell. And then we also have access to our combo maker in Soul via Stone Sweeper. Let's just assume we're going first though. First thing we'll do is use Stone Sweeper, send itself to the graveyard to add the Soul Resonator. We want Soul here because we need non-tuner access, and that will get it for us. Okay, so we have Soul. Next I'm going to normal Soul. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab Bone Archfiend. And one thing I didn't include in my math earlier when talking over our true 2-card combo is that Obsessive Oovaloop is also a card you can open and still get the full combo. Let's show you how. Bone Archfiend, send the Oovaloop to graveyard. Special summon itself. Bone Archfiend target Soul. Send our copy of Crimson to the graveyard, decrease the level, and now we're properly set up. So the math is even better than I represented earlier. Hopefully me in editing fixes the math. Now that we have this on field, let's go ahead and synchro summon these 2. For Red Rising Dragon, Red Rising target Crimson. And we're just gonna fast track this since we've seen this exact combo rub before. Crimson effect. Grab Synchron. Where's my vision? There's my vision. I do wear glasses, so that's something I may say in normal speech. Vision, Red Rising. For Scar Red. I hate it when my extra deck is out of order, but I didn't organize it when playing through. Then Vision effect. Grabs a Gaia, which is nice because we already have the red zones, which means we get to search Fiendish Golem with Gaia this time around, giving us an extra interaction. Then we do the Synchron and the Scar Red. I always like to go for Abyss here in case our opponent was holding on to an imperm for their dear life because they didn't know when to interrupt us. And they might try to interrupt Bastille Despoter once they realize we're building a crazy board. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. As I always say, if nobody's hand trapped you yet, they're probably not going to. So Synchron, target Vision, and then also Scar Red effect as Chainlink 2. We're going to do our Chainlinks out of order because we've seen this combo properly before, and so is our opponent, and we are just going to speed through it to save time. Red Dragon Archfiend, Crimson, Despoter, Oovaloop effect, banish the Scar Red. You could also banish the Red Dragon Archfiend. I never like doing that though. I like leaving it in graveyard for Crimson Gaia to bring back. You could banish Scar Red and Red Dragon Archfiend. That way you have Red Dragon Archfiend to grab off for its own. But yeah, I don't know. I like having at least one of these 2 in graveyard to float into off Crimson Gaia in case things go really, really bad. And then we're going to add that Oovaloop back to our hand. Oovaloop, target and banish the Red Rising. special summon itself, Dispotter, bring back the Scar Red, and then Vision, special itself, Scar Red and Vision. For Bane, Bane tribute, target Scar Red, special back Scar Red, activate Gaia, activate the effect of Gaia, add Fiendish Golem. If you ever see a Red Dragon Archfiend player add Fiendish Golem at this point, you can assume the other card they're setting is going to be Red Zone. We will set the Fiendish Golem, set the Red Zone, and pass to our opponent with 2 hand traps and full combo. There is absolutely no way our opponent should win unless they have opened the nuttiest hand of all time. If they can play through all of this, there is no way they are playing through all of this in Nibiru and Ghost Bell. And that's the foundational idea of the deck. Even if we weren't able to establish a whole board, we would still have something. Probably just the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, the Crimson Gaia, and maybe the Red Zone. And then we would also have Nibiru and Ghost Bell to hopefully give us another turn via the Scar Red floating into the other Red Dragon Archfiend from our extra deck, Crimson Gaia, bring back Scar Red or Red Dragon Archfiend from our graveyard, making us hard to OTK, and then these two mucking things up for our opponent. Alright everybody, I think I'm rambling now, so I think that's where we're going to call the video. Hopefully this was informative, hopefully this was a good video for all of you. This was easy and fun for me to make, which is something I needed. Life's been kind of kicking my ass lately. Hopefully it's not doing the same for you. Hope all of you are doing well. Keep your head up, and be safe, have fun. I'll see you on the next one.